Alright, here it is. The biggest video I've ever created. Honestly, I wasn't even sure I'd make it, but here we go. With special thanks to Vosik the Archpriest, Vote for Shifu, Valk, and the D1 Challenge Discord, I present to you the top 10 hardest challenges in Destiny history. Before we get started, we gotta talk about the outlines and rules for this list. First off, this list is for solo challenges only. I might do a duo or trio video later. Second, I'm only including challenges that have video proof of completion. Challenges that haven't been beaten are not allowed, but I may make a future video about theoretical challenges. Third, I'm not going to dive too deep on the specifics of each challenge, just a brief overview, otherwise this vid would take far too long. Fourth, this list is obviously subjective. With hundreds of challenges across 2 games, it is exceedingly difficult to give each challenge an accurate comparison for difficulty. I spent a long time asking experts and challenge seekers, so I do feel satisfied with my list. However, if you have a different opinion or if there's a challenge that you think should be on this list instead, go ahead and drop it in the comments. With all that being said, let's begin. Starting off with a banger, we have one of the most visually pleasing challenges on our list. Very few challenges require a Guardian to cooperate with the AI that they're fighting, but this challenge is just that. Dragging ogres across the entire map and grouping up 16 bombs in one spot is hard enough on its own, but watching a single Guardian handle Oryx, Knights, Shades, Ogres, Thrall, buggy AI, impossible sightlines, enemies that hit like a truck, and the nerve to handle all of this for a minimum of 15 minutes straight, you're left with a challenge that most Guardians can't do with even 6 people. Between having nearly no health, no downtime, and absolutely no chance to catch your breath for an exceedingly long time, you're staring at Destiny's premier endurance run. Potentially the most infamous challenge on our list. Bad AI? Check. Terrifyingly difficult mechanics? Check. Controversial beginnings? Double check. This challenge has it all. If you want the details talked about in full, check out this video I made describing the history of this particular challenge. But here's a quick recap on why it's so hard. 9 jumps that demand near perfection, unrelenting enemies, bombs and cannons that one-shot, parts that never want to bounce properly, and if you have a perfect run, you have less than 15 seconds to spare. One of the more technical challenges on this list. Approach with extreme caution. Hard mode challenge mode was difficult, most assuredly, but it's lower on the list because there is some room for error. This challenge, on the other hand, is the quintessential, if one thing messes up, it's a restart. You have to pay attention not just to how weak you get certain enemies, but also how fast you weaken them. If you weaken an ogre too quickly, it's a wipe. If you weaken it too slowly, it's a wipe. If a thrall decides to walk 2 steps too far away, you won't get health regen, and it's a wipe. If you stand half a step too far into a bomb, it's a wipe. If your fusion rifle shots don't weave through Oryx's ribcage at just the right angle, it's a wipe. You get the picture. This challenge is just amazing to watch, and in my opinion, takes the prize for Destiny's most surgical challenge. Solo Atheon has been a meme in the Destiny community for almost 8 years. So just imagine the hype that was aroused when in May 2021, Bungie re-released the Vaulted Glass. As soon as the raid released, every hardcore player in the game was trying to find a way to solo every encounter. Atheon, though, posed a problem. It simply wasn't soloable. With the changes they made in between games, Bungie tried its hardest to make sure no one was going to beat the Vex God alone. And trust me, they did a good job. I don't want to get too detailed here. EvanF1997 made an epic video cataloging the entire progression. Highly recommend giving it a watch. Now, I'm breaking my rules a little bit, but the strategy for soloing Atheon has changed a lot since the OG days. You now use hammers instead of grenades, but I really feel like the OG theory crafters deserve special recognition for producing one of the most exciting races I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing in Destiny. Yes, this challenge is possible. A lot of you may think this would be pretty easy. Just do Park Glitch. Well, yeah, but could you do this challenge without Park Glitch? No, you couldn't. It was so impossible, it wasn't even attempted for over 4 years. But eventually, 40 months into the life of Siege Engine, 3 board Guardians, me, Kylo Brent, and Vosik the Archpriest, got together and spent a month theory crafting. A strategy was found, but mechanically possible and humanly possible are 2 vastly different things. What made this so hard was that Titans would basically be doing exactly what Hunters do, but Titans don't have near the ad control or movement options that Hunters do. So this challenge was only going to be possible for people who knew Titans literally perfectly. As of the making of this video, this challenge has only been beaten twice. Yeah, good luck with this one. Our last D2 challenge is also our first entry into our top 5. This challenge has 3 major hurdles that turn this from a regular challenge to an absolute nightmare. Firstly, this encounter is already known for its ungodly amount of enemies. And doing this solo, you'll have to face 6 times as many as you normally do. Second, you're abusing 2 glitches that make the battlefield change every time you dunk a ball. And third, the movement required means you'll reach your intended items with either 1 or 0 seconds to spare. Vote for Shifu has a pretty in-depth video describing the intricacies of what's going on. Just trust me, there's a lot going on, and this challenge is well deserving of our number 5 spot. When the phrase impossible is said, this challenge is what comes up. And no, I'm not trying to be poetic and all. 2 of the best Guardians Destiny has ever produced. Aksis and Vosik the Archpriest worked on this encounter for a long time, for over 3 years, trying everything you can imagine, yet still nothing happened. Until finally, in January of 2020, Aksis finally came in clutch. Then after that, Vosik the Archpriest comes in and completely demolishes this challenge. Again, if you want to run down the complete story and to find everyone who was involved, please check out the video I made right up there. Watch it, and you'll find out why this is considered the hardest non-final boss in Destiny. Top 3, we have a doozy here. Now, solo Aksis is a hard enough challenge as it is, but let me explain what is so difficult about doing it in 2 phases, or 6 teleports. In the words of Kylo Brent, a first-time Aksis soloer usually takes about 10 teleports. Comfortable Aksis soloers can do it in about 8. 7 is quite an accomplishment, but 6? Killing Aksis with only 6 teleports has only been done by 1 person. If you want to see art in action, optimal DPS in its most flawless form, I highly recommend giving this challenge a watch. You won't be disappointed. Wait, is this challenge even possible? I thought doing it on a Titan, which has many more damage options, took the entire Destiny community over 4 years to complete. On the challenge with one of the tightest required damage phases, how is this going to happen with an even tighter damage phase? To take a quote from Vosik the Archpriest, the person with more solo Vosik clears than everyone else in the world combined, I'd say this is easily the hardest Vosik solo. With less movement options, less survival methods, and fewer ways to stack damage on top of trying to complete one of the hardest challenges in the whole community, it is safe to say this is the hardest single encounter challenge in Destiny. And yet, we still have one more. Before we get to our final spot, here are a few honorable mentions. In our number 1 spot, we have Solo Flawless Wrath of the Machine. Yeah, insanity. The second raid in Destiny's history to be soloed from start to finish. It was always thought to be soloable. The entrance was easy enough. Siege Engine was pretty easy with Park Glitch. Aksis Phase 1 was doable, and Aksis Phase 2 wasn't the hardest thing ever. But the problem was Vosik. No matter what you do or use, there is no easy way to solo Vosik. You would have to get past entrance, do one of the most difficult challenges in Destiny history, then do 3 encounters back to back to back without choking a single time. This is the pinnacle challenge in Destiny. Only done by 2 people, this challenge requires the utmost in skill, stamina, nerves of steel, and is more than worthy of the title of hardest challenge in Destiny history. There are hundreds of noteworthy challenges between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and thousands more challengers. If you want to try and tackle some of these insane challenges, all of the videos for each completion will be listed down in the description. Good luck. If you like this vid, please consider dropping a like and sub. If you think I missed a challenge or a completion, please let me know. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I'll see you next time.